Okay, this is going to be a tutorial on how to turn this little solid conditioner bar blend into a whole jar of liquid conditioner. This bar is formulated specifically to turn it into a liquid conditioner. You can do this with other solid conditioner bars that you might buy elsewhere. However, your results might vary. You might not have as good of a liquid conditioner. It might not be as moisturizing, as thick, have the right solid to liquid ratio, the right amount of fragrance, etc. All we need is your solid to liquid conditioner bar. This bar is approximately 25 grams in weight. I sell these on my Etsy store. You need water, so you can use anywhere between 10 and 12 ounces by weight of water. That is about 280 to 340 grams. I like to go somewhere in the middle at about 11 ounces is my preferred thickness for conditioner. This is similar in consistency to what you will find in most store-bought conditioners. You'll see at the end once we make it. 11 ounces is about 311 grams. So that's what I'm using. You can see on this jar, on this mason jar, 11 ounces comes up to a little bit past the 10 ounces on a fluid ounce scale. If you want to have a thicker conditioner, if you're putting this into a mason jar after you're done with it and you want a little bit more of a paste, you can go more like the 280 grams or 10 ounces. If you want it a little bit thinner, runnier, easier to work with, you can go on the higher end of that scale, so putting in the full 340 ounces of water to it. You also need a whisk. You could also use a fork, but a whisk is easier just to make sure that you get all of the clumps well blended. And finally, a knife. This is also optional. The reason that I made this solid to liquid conditioner bar is because a lot of people like solid conditioners because they are more sustainable. Every time you buy them, you don't have to buy a new plastic container. You're not wasting all of that material. You're not shipping around a lot of water weight. And so it's better for the environment. And so that's solid conditioners as a whole. The reason that we are turning it into a liquid conditioner is I personally, and of the people that I've talked to who've tried them, don't really like solid conditioners on their own, to be honest. I find them very hard to use. It's just annoying. I would rather just pump something out of a bottle when I'm in the shower. And so turning it into a liquid conditioner is the perfect balance of you get that sustainability aspect, but it's also much easier to use. So let's get started. First, what you're going to want to do is take your water. This is 310 grams of water, about 11 ounces. And I'm going to go heat this up. You don't need it quite at a boiling temperature. Around 140 degrees Fahrenheit is optimal. So you can heat it up to boiling if you want, let it cool down, or just heat it up to around 140. Hot enough to dissolve this, but not boiling is the main thing to remember. Okay, here we have our pretty hot water. I just put this in the microwave for about 1 minute and 20 seconds. It's pretty hot. If I touch it here, please use oven mitts if you're not confident in the temperature of this. It's hot, it's not warm, you can see it's steaming. And we're going to set this aside for a second. Take your little bar. I like to cut this up into smaller cubes. This is optional. You can use it as the full bar, just plop the whole thing in there. But if you want to have a little bit easier time of mixing it up, you can cut it up into little squares like this. This is my new vanilla bean scented conditioner that is going to be launching in a few days, and I'm super excited about it. I love vanilla scents, and this one is very nice. So now we're just plopping this in. The water that I used for this is water that I put through my Brita filter. You can use any water that is potable, aka water that you would be comfortable with drinking. And so now that the conditioner chunks are in there, we are just going to mix it up for a little bit. And you only need to mix this for maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes until they're fully dissolved. So very easy. Pop them in, mix it. Okay, so Now that I look into this and I don't see any more chunks of my little solid conditioner, this thing is basically ready to go. All you have to do is wait for it to cool. You can pop it in the fridge or freezer, which is what I'm going to do. This speeds up the cooling process, of course, but also if you want it to be a lot smoother in consistency, this can help. Alright, and now I just pulled this out of the freezer. It's almost to room temperature. It's still slightly warm, but I wanted to show you guys before I lose all of my daylight. This has thickened substantially, and it will continue to do so as it fully cools down. At this point, it's a good time to transfer it into whatever kind of container you want to keep it in, whether that be a pump from one of my starter sets, a pump bottle that you already have from maybe an empty soap bottle, or something like a mason jar. I would recommend not putting it in something that is metal because that will rust over time. But make sure that whatever jar you put it in is clean so that you don't get any bacterial growth. Other than that, that is all. I hope you guys enjoyed this very simple tutorial and that you love your new liquid conditioner.